Is the dollar doomed? A lot of people talk about that, talk about the fact that the trend we have seen in the dollar is over. What is the charts telling us? And what is the dollar index telling us? It's many times worthwhile looking at the dollar index as it gives us a more of a holistic view on the dollar. And from a technical perspective, I wouldn't say that the trend is over in the dollar. We did have this very strong push here in September, and this is following the election here in November. And we had push to the upside and then down and then up, and we're at these prior resistance levels. And as we know, resistance turns into support. Moreover, we have a pattern here. So we have a wedge. Now, the wedge on its own is not a terrific pattern, but it does help us. And we can see here that we had a breakout on November 11th, which was then tested, and then we pushed to the upside. And we almost reached our target, but we didn't go all the way up. And we're now back testing this breakout area. And the level you want to watch is 105. That's the low of this week here, starting in December, the first week of December. That act as defending this level. And yes, if we break below here, you will probably have a push to the downside and then up and then probably lower. But we're not there yet. So, if anything, we're at almost max risk reward here, where the potential loss would be something like 0.5% almost. And if we go to the high, we're looking at almost 6 times risk to reward ratio, followed by 7.6 if we actually hit the high here. And why could this happen? Well, it could happen if we do have tariffs, but even that, let's take a step back. Inflation is very high in the US at 3%, wage growth is strong, and the unemployment rate is really low. Deportations are happening, so the labor market is shrinking. The way I see it, inflation will continue to be high, and the Federal Reserve, even though they're not doing anything about it right now, will likely be forced to do something about this at one point. What are the negatives then? Well, if you look at the flash PMI from Friday last week, it showed that the US economy dropped. Okay, so the US economy, well, the index, the PMI dropped, telling us that the US economic growth has dropped. Now, what's the problem with that? The problem is that it's just 1 month's reading. So it doesn't necessarily result into a trend. Moreover, as I just said, we have the labor market data that has been really strong. So, what are we going to make of this? Well, that's when the technical analysis comes in. The technical analysis says that given these factors, we should still be long here, particularly given that just the flash PMI was just a one-off. What are your thoughts? And will you be buying this or maybe shorting it on the break to 105? Leave your comments below.